What's good, everybody? We're taking it up a notch with this one. We got some ProRevenge. Here we go. How I got my bully arrested for a completely different thing. My story begins 5 or 6 years ago. I was coming home from school. I was 14 or 15 years old. My commute included catching a bus from its last stop. The last stop of the bus was like a cul-de-sac where the bus turned around, waited for 10 to 15 minutes before it would go, while the driver had a rest and the passengers got on. I got on the bus and stood in the middle. There were a lot of people already on it and all the seats were taken. When I looked outside, I saw 3 boys, slightly older than me, sitting on a bench, looking aggressively at me and talking. One of them was looking straight into my eyes. I will call him main aggressor, MA. I could tell they were talking about me and straight away knew they had bad intentions. This goes on for about a few minutes when the bus engine starts. Just before the doors closed and the bus set off, they got on. MA came right next to me and looked me right in the eyes about 2 inches away from me. I turned away and got to the front of the bus near the driver. Scared, I wanted to phone my father to wait for me at the bus stop, but my phone bill wasn't paid and my phone was useless. Just one stop before mine, they suddenly go off the bus and ran away looking back at me. A few weeks later, while going to school, I catch a different bus, which set off from the same place. As the bus set off, I saw the same 3 guys outside. MA notices me right away and yells to the others, "Hey, that's that guy!" They started walking towards the bus, but it drove away. The third time I saw them was the scariest. It was like a year later. I was coming home on a Saturday evening on the first bus. The bus was almost empty and I was sitting in the back. I saw the same 3 guys getting on the bus from the front door. My blood ran cold. They hadn't noticed me yet and I immediately rang my mom and told her to wait for me at the bus stop. I was looking out the window, pretending not to see them. They were messing around at the front of the bus when MA noticed me. He smiled to the other 2 guys and walked up to me. Standing next to my seat, he started saying things like, "Nowhere to run now," and "I finally got you," while pushing me. I didn't say anything and pretended he wasn't there. Luckily, my stop was coming. As the bus stopped, I suddenly got up and ran to the door. He tried to grab me but failed. I ran out of the bus and got in my mom's car, which was already at the bus stop. I looked back and saw all 3 of them getting off the bus and trying to chase the car. My district is small and I found MA on social media and knew who he was. A typical aggressive teenager, wannabe gangster. Heard from a few friends that he was a well-known bully in our district. I was a very shy and timid person, so the experience stuck with me for quite a long time. For 1 or 2 years after that, I was afraid to go near that bus stop or walk alone in the dark. I would always look around in fear on buses or when walking on the street. The revenge part. Fast forward to a year and a half ago. 20-year-old me started a job at a construction company. I became a friend to most of the workers, including the foreman and the boss. They all liked me because I did my job well and was generally friendly. I was working hard because I needed money, which helped my progress in the company quickly. I started as a construction worker, cleaning the construction site, carrying around materials, assisting form workers and rebar workers, etc. But about 6 months later, the foreman started giving me more complex tasks as well. About 2 months ago, we were removing formwork with 2 of my colleagues when the foreman came with another guy and said, "This is our new guy. He will be working with you now. Show him around and take care of him. It's his first job." When I looked at him, I was shocked. It was MA. Surprisingly, he didn't recognize me, probably because my appearance changed a lot since 5 years ago. But I hadn't forgotten his ugly face. Didn't give him any info about me that would make him remember. He wasn't into talking a lot anyways. I didn't tell anybody about him because I felt that was nobody else's business. At the moment, he didn't do anything wrong, but I just couldn't stand him and wanted to get rid of him as soon as possible. We have a storage at our construction site which held expensive tools and machines, drills, angle grinders, etc. One morning, we came to find it broken into and there was missing equipment. There is one security guard, but his kiosk is on the other side of the construction site, next to the entrance, which was about 50 meters away, and his view to the storage is obstructed, so he didn't see anything. There was security camera footage, but it was low quality, and the 2 guys visible were wearing dark hoodies. The police were called, but there was nothing they could do about it. The next day, I come home from work. One of my dad's buddies had stopped by to show him the new handheld circular saw he'd bought secondhand for cheap. A bell immediately rang in my head. When I saw it, I instantly recognized it. I took a picture of it, saying I was interested in buying a similar one. My dad's friend told me who he got it from, and after another check on social media, I found out it was MA's father. It all started coming together. I told my boss and foreman everything I knew and showed them the picture of the saw. My dad's friend also confirmed to my boss that MA is indeed the son of the guy who he'd bought the saw from. Me and my boss went to the police and told them everything. The next morning, there were 2 officers on the construction site. When MA showed up, they arrested him. The sweetest part was me telling handcuffed MA, "Nowhere to run now." He thought about it for a second and looked at me with wide open eyes. He suddenly remembered who I am. Anyway, under pressure, he told the police everything. Turns out, his father persuaded him and one of his friends to steal the equipment. His father would then sell it, and they would split the money. I didn't know much about his father, but MA is held on multiple charges, including theft and trespassing. I also heard from a friend that he's been arrested before for assault, but they let him go. This time, he's not getting away. Sometimes I feel bad for him, but then I remember what an asshole he was and still look to be. Theft on construction sites is a huge problem here. This revenge is just perfect in my opinion, because it wasn't even the bullying that he got him in trouble for. I just find it funny. Give me about 5 or 6 years and I'll get you back for something totally different. Don't fire people who don't work for you. I had taken over running a small development team of 9 for a relatively big company. We were there for basic, quick little bits of software that wouldn't make sense to outsource. Web apps that quiz employees on policy, fancy interactive projects to show off at conferences, or just an extra pretty PowerPoint, etc. The guy I took over from ran the team like we lived in the 1980s. So I brought us into the modern age and surprise, surprise, within a few weeks our team was finishing projects left, right, and center. I won't go into it here, but if any tech nerds are interested on how bad it was, I'll reply to any comments. Everything was going great. My coworkers could take smoke breaks and listen to music. Our internal clients were kept up to date with their projects, and my boss thought I was some kind of software prodigy as productivity had gone through the roof. Honestly, this was more indicative of how bad it was before rather than anything I did. Then comes Dick, short for Richard, of course. Now, you know Dick. You probably have a Dick at your office. They've been there too long to fire and delight in slapping people in the face with their seniority, regardless of whether or not they have anything to do with you. First, he sends us a project and marks it critical, as in, everyone stop what you're doing now, this needs to be done yesterday. I politely send him a message and ask him if I can move it down to medium priority as there was little to no time limit and we had other projects to deal with. He replies, "No, it needs to be done now, get to it." I'd like to remind everyone that he is not my boss and has no authority over me or my team. So I CC my boss and the other department heads who we had projects for at the time. "Hi all, hope you're enjoying your day. Dick has asked me to work on this project for his department. However, he wants it to be done now, which would delay your projects. Would that be okay with everyone?" Turns out that's a no, and I downgrade his project. Now, Dick starts to live up to his namesake. A week or 2 later, I check our Trello, task management software, and notice that Shia, fantastic programmer, great person, was falling a bit behind. I go to ask her what's up, and she looks like she's about to have a panic attack. I ask her what's wrong, and it turns out Dick had threatened to fire her if she didn't start working on his project immediately. I calm her down, let her take a break, tell her to start working on her regular projects, and send Dick to me if he gets uppity. I then fire off an email to Dick and my boss reminding him that 1. Any threats of termination need to go through me and HR first. 2. Who works on what projects and when is determined by our schedule and myself. And 3. If a project's deadline is moved up, I should be informed directly, not via my team. Turns out Dick is infamous for making threats like this, but because nobody took them seriously, I was the first to remind him he had no authority over other departments. I didn't find out until later, but apparently he had a meltdown at the boss about how incredibly disrespectful I was. He tried to file a formal complaint, but it was rejected because doing my job properly isn't actually a problem. Who knew? At this time, I accepted a better job and was going to put in my notice, but I wanted to wait until after our latest project, let's call it the Ninja Report, was done as it was a big deal for my team. This Ninja Report was part of a presentation by a company bigwig, boss's boss's boss, and was marked critical, so all of us were working hard to make sure we did a good job and got it in on time. Now finally we get to the revenge. I'm plugging in a switch under the desk when someone taps me hard on the shoulder. "Just a minute, mate." I stand up and stare directly into the red face of Dick, erect with fury and ready to expel his rage all over the office. "I'm not your mate. You need to learn your place in this company. Blah blah blah." As this grown man is screaming at me in full view of my team, it suddenly dawns on me that I get severance, have another job lined up, and really have no reason to deal with this. "I want my project done now!" He continues to yell. Now, I could have told him about the Ninja Report. I could have said a lot of things, but I just smiled, looked him in the eyes and said, as long as I'm working here, the schedule isn't changing. Predictably, Dick responds, then you're fired. I grab my things and leave. As I'm leaving, one of my team comes up looking like a deer in the headlights and asks what they should do. Easy. First, I want everyone except you to stop working on the Ninja Report. Second, at the end of the day, send an email to the boss and the bigwig. Let them know what happened and explain that the Ninja Report is going to be a week late. See you all for drinks Friday. I wake up bleary-eyed the next day to a call. Me, hello? Boss, hi, look, I'm sorry about what Dick said. He doesn't actually have the authority to fire you, and the Ninja Report can't be late. We need to fix this. Oh, I'm sorry, I've actually accepted another job, but don't worry, I figured this would happen. I asked one of my team to work on it privately. If they start working on the Ninja Report again, they should be able to get it done on time. My boss tries to get me to come back, but I made it clear that wasn't going to happen. Recommended one of my team take my job and thank him for the opportunity. He's pretty cool about it, confirms I'll be getting severance, and tells me I can use him as a reference. Friday drinks roll around and we have a lot to celebrate. Ninja Report was done on time, and given everything that happened, it made my team look great. I got a new job, teammate got a promotion, and Bigwig was really eager to learn why his subordinate fired the lead of the team he picked himself and nearly tanked the project. I'm proud to report that the office is now 100% Dick free. To be clear, all names were changed and this is a throwaway so I don't get my arse sued. Oh, that's good. This dude wants it done, and he wants it done now. Dick seems like the kind of guy to fire somebody if the coffee wasn't ready when he got there. Just the writing in this one killed me. I stand up and stare directly into the red face of Dick, erect with fury and ready to expel his rage. That's just gold right there. Just a reminder, the Discord drawing contest ends May 19th. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you all in the next video. Peace.